This week on Penn's Big Water Adventures.
If you were with us last week, we had blue marlin, jumped off a 600-pound black, the most compelling, amazing yellowfin footage I've ever seen personally in my life. I had to do something I've never done before. I'm going to do 2 episodes from the same location on the same trip. Let's try that again, only a little bigger. Jurassic Park, believe the hype. You're in for another big water adventure with my co-host, Albert Batu. He's not going to make part 2 from Tropic Star because it'd be criminal not to.
Ready for action.
Tuna. Big going, whatever he is. An undescribed species. We were all enjoying all of the wonderful porpoises around the boat, and we got rudely interrupted. Now the neat thing is, yesterday was last week. Think about that for a second. It's kind of like a Back to the Future thing. And we did an entire show, which was an amazing show, before 2 p.m. in one day. Now the neat thing is now we've got 5 days to do one more show. Pretty good fish. He's staying high too. That's a real good fish. I guess I'd introduce my co-host, Albert Batu, which if you saw him last week, which was really yesterday, we keep saying that. Yesterday was one of the most amazing days you've had here in 4 years.
Oh yeah, we caught just about everything. We set out to catch. Of course, the elusive 600-pound black marlin is still out there. But we got the blue, and today's a new day, so we're in the porpoises. We catch this tuna, hopefully, and get started on some more billfish action.
That's what we're trying to catch again. He's not tired. that's a real nice way of saying that he ain't even trying. He said the fish is running into the current. Translation for dummies like me, you ain't got him close to whipped yet. I just got deep color when he circled up that last time. See him, Albert, he's right here. There, Mel, let's stick this fish. That's why he was so tough. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this is a solid 130-pound fish, but I want to show you why I misjudged him a little bit. He was hooked, believe it or not, right there. How would you like to catch a 130-pound yellowfin hooked like a live bait? That's what I just did. So check that out. If you see the amount of pressure it took me to pull that off, it wasn't much. 12-aught Demon Perfect circle hook. Well, I look like the corner of a jaw, so I think we need a bigger box. I couldn't figure out why he would never turn over. I couldn't get his head up. So I had him hooked through the anal fin. I can say that, anal fins. Perfectly good English in this context. Can't censor me. Anal fin. That's what you want right there. You want to see what the end result? Buck Knives presents you the final product.
You know, there's always a surprise that we give our guests here, an opportunity to eat fresh sashimi straight from the sea. That is about as fresh as you're gonna get it. We've been just about wrapping it up for the day, and Captain saw a fish right at the back on the last bait, hooked it up, Looks like a nice dorado.
Yeah, she's gut hooked. We're gonna have to keep this one.
Okay.
She's gut hooked. We would have liked to turn her loose, but she's hooked deep. You gotta pull the gaff out.
Yep.
Sometimes you just have to be a little patient. We weren't gonna let that fish loose because we thought she was deep hooked. I saw she was hooked in the gill plate. I kept trying to get her to shake. She shook me sideways, and finally we got that circle hook to pop out of that gill plate. And we got a happy cow dolphin because of Tropic Star.
Conservation.
And there's
Release.
billions of them because of the conservation.
Correct.
Now this little guy right here, we're gonna have to keep him. He's not gonna make it. So we'll keep him, we'll let her go. But you understand, this is what we needed to catch that. So, well, you get it. All I can tell you about Tropic Star is when you're here, it's one of the most amazing places I've ever been from so many aspects. This place has been one of the premier fishing destinations for 50 years. You hear names like Zane Grey Reef, Ernest Hemingway gets thrown around, Guy Harvey's here on a regular basis. They wouldn't continue coming back if there wasn't a reason.
He's on the short, he's on the short.
That tuna knew it was done. Knew it had absolutely no chance, and the only option it had was to try to go up.
What is it?
Marlin. Marlin, Marlin, Marlin. Oh!
Oh!
I've never seen one make a more valiant effort. That blue came in and crashed it.
Pega, ya. Vale, loco, ahí está. Ya.
That was awesome. Was that not cool? How about 20 feet behind the boat?
Wow. I'm putting a lot of heat on this fish, and I can't get its head up at all. And after it did those initial jumps, it's straight up and down, and it's just not acting right. Jose told me, he said, heat it up. I think it's tail wrap.
She's hooked in the tail.
Yep.
Here, get the bill, get the bill.
Hey.
Tail wrap fish, short fight. That's why she didn't jump. We're gonna spend a little time on this fish, get her revived. She's not dead. It's not in real good shape, but she was hooked in the tail. So that's why she didn't jump. We're gonna spend a little time on her, get her ready to go, and get her back.
As soon as we got a hold of the bill and got her turned around, after about 15, 20 minutes or so, that fish was lit up, just as happy as it could be.
These guys are unbelievable at what they do. We got her turned around, we cut the hook, it's still sitting in her tail, so shake that off. But this fish would have been a dead fish if we hadn't put heat on her and wrapped her down. For those of you at home who wonder what we're doing, billfish have to push water through their gills to make them to be able to breathe. They can't sit there like a bass or a freshwater species and just pump water into their gills. They have to be moving. The water has to airflow over their gills. So if they quit swimming, they die. So we're just sitting here literally with the boat doing about 2 or 3 knots, which would be about cruising speed for this billfish. And before too long, she started lighting up. She's been fighting Airmel and me both, wanting to get let go, but we're not gonna let her go until she really wants to be let go. This is one of my favorite things about big water adventures, man. We're gonna give her a little bit more time, and when Airmel says it's time to go, look at her lighting up right there. Look at the colors. How about that?
It was amazing to me, number one, that these guys could tell, that there was something not right, assess the situation, 15, 20 minutes, and we just watched her come completely back to life. They waited until she lit up, completely lit up, before we turned her loose.
Uno, dos, tres. Look at that. Fin up, wings out, tail pushing her down. That is a happy ending for a blue marlin right there that could have gone bad. When they're tail wrapped like that, you're dragging them backwards, you drown them. And fortunately, we got her in quick. Jose stayed right on top of her, realized what was going on. We got her turned around, pointed the right direction. After 15 minutes of a little TLC, she lit up like a Christmas tree and said, hey man, let go of my nose. And away she went. Stick with us, Big Water Adventures will be right back. Jurassic Park, man. It's all here, Tropic Star.
We decided to just play around. We went out and we speed trolled some wahoos. Got him. He just came off. Oh, fish on, fish on. He's speed trolling, whatever he is. Since we just airballed a wahoo a minute ago, whatever he is, I'll take him, but I think we got us a tuna. If it's a wahoo, it's a weehoo. Hey, it's a weehoo! Just flip him in the boat. Come here, cutie pie. Bye-bye, cutie pie. We ended up with a weehoo, but the neat thing was, I got to actually spend some deck time with Albert, not just staring at baits and wrecking fish, because we decided we wanted to throw Sabile splashers at the rocks and see what would come up and eat them. Another facet, Sabile splasher on the rocks. One of my favorite things to do. Can you imagine topwater fishing like this? As good as it gets. Hooked up. That was awesome! How awesome was that? And it's a Mac.
That's a Sierra mackerel.
That's a big old Sierra. How's that for a big axe handle Sierra? You want to keep that for Marlin? Manana? Whoa! Get him, Albert! Hold him,
That's
Albert!
a big one.
When you hear it from 50 yards away, that's a good one.
Straight up drop. Look at the bait. He was hungry. Put the whole bait in his mouth.
I believe he wanted it. Somewhere down in there is about an 8-inch long bait. Oh, I threw completely over the top of the rocks. Darren wanted to eat it. He ate it. I can't believe I got him out of the rocks, to be honest with you. Being as how I have absolutely no interest in bringing this fish in the boat, I'm gonna be real healthy for him and just go ahead and turn him loose like this. And you don't even have to get up on top of the water. That was one of those I dare you. I threw way over the top of the rock and thought, I'll just chug it back across the top of that rock as soon as it hit the water. It did what Jack Crevalle do.
My boss once told me, Albert, if you fish for what's biting, you will always have a fantastic Tropic Star experience. And I firmly believe that. From July all the way through to March is our billfish season. All the pelagics are here, the blue marlin, black marlin, sailfish, yellowfin tuna, dorado, just to name a few of the offshore species. As you untie your boat from the dock in the morning, you could be into fish within 15, 20 minutes.
I've been a lot of places and I've stayed with a lot of lodges and resorts, and I can tell you the accommodations here are second to none. There's all sorts of different types of guests that come here. They've got comfortable beds, hot showers, wide open, big rooms. The meals are second to none, phenomenal. And when you come home in the evening, you're glad that you are at Tropic Star. There we go. Good morning. I'd say he's hooked up. I probably don't give sailfish as much credit here. Tropic Star, it's almost like an incidental bycatch. It's a species that is considered a bonus down here, and it's just something you kind of catch along with His Majesty the Black Marlin and his big brother the Blue. It's the Albert Show. The Albert Show.
Try and get this hook out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Very gently.
Now I don't feel so bad. I thought they all just hated me.
There we go.
That was another sailfish. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been awakened by black marlin, tunas, sailfish, dolphin, and blue marlin this week. Might ought to think about coming down here.
No, 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 stay off the reef. Whoa. Told the captain, let's see if we can drop some irons down on the reef. Sure enough, on the second drop, okay, here he comes. It's a nice one.
Lip gap.
Lip gap, yeah. Okay, I'm fishing here with a Cubera fast cast. Seems to be pretty effective. I'm gonna put it back down and see what we come up with on another fish.
I'm swinging for the fence. Albert's dropping the fast cast. I got a big bonita now, trying to do a big water adventures monster. I got broke off by some big stuff here last year. So I brought the 200-pound spider wire to the 300-pound fluoro, 50 VSX on international stand-up. I'm not going after the fish that are sporting. I'm going after the ones that keep breaking everybody off. That's what I'm talking about. That'll be the right color. Strong fish. We have been standing out here just absolutely wrecking groundfish. And the shore's about 5 miles right there. This is just something literally that you can come and do for fun. If you get tired of catching black marlin, blue marlin, dolphin, tunas, wahoos, it's a Cubera. Big Cubera.
Big Cubera. Whoa.
Cubera snapper can grow in excess of 5 feet and weigh over 100 pounds. A reef dweller, they can be found in the eastern Pacific from Mexico to Chile and in the western Atlantic from Florida to Cuba all the way down to Brazil.
50-pound class stand-up with 200-pound braided line to 300-pound fluoro. It's because guys like this break people off. Look at him, he thinks he's a whale. That's why we use Demon Perfect circle hooks right there, boys and girls. Biggest one I've ever caught, bigger than the last one that I caught here, and one of the prettiest fish I've ever seen. We've said it before, Jurassic Park, believe the hype. These fish are here. We spent 20 minutes catching this one. That's all, just had to bring big enough gear. Let's turn him loose. Everything was right with the world, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. Right until we decided to turn her loose. I immediately realized that I had forgotten my venting tool back at the room. So we took a rigging needle, we got the air out that we could. I took some Marlin single strand wire and just got barely inside the skin and took every piece of lead that we had, try to get her down. If we can get her down 30 feet, get her down 1 atmosphere, she'd be okay. But we had to get her down that far, and it just wasn't working. Come on, buddy. I turned and looked at Albert, and I really didn't know what to do. He looked in my suitcase, and being a guy that brings pretty much everything, I brought a face mask because I like to get in the water. Albert said, I'm the fishing director. Don't worry, I'll show her the way. If we can just get him down 1 atmosphere, he'll go. So Albert's gonna go, take him down 1 atmosphere. I don't think you need to talk about Tropic Star conservation.
I got the fish in my arms like this, and I knew that when she get down maybe 20 to 30 feet, she'd be okay. I grabbed the fish, I swam right down with her. I put my hands in the gill plates, and I felt the fish clasping onto my hands, the gills. I knew she was in good condition. I just gently let her go, and she shot off like a rocket straight back down to the bottom. And I knew in that moment that that fish is gonna survive.
She go? Yeah! You are the man! You want to talk about conservation? They went from keeping Cuberas 5 years ago to swimming them back down now. Tropic Star knows what they've got. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Mad props to Mr. Albert Batu.
I had no words to describe the feeling of doing all that you can to release a fish against all the odds.
Was that not one of the coolest things you've ever seen? How about sending Albert Batu a personal email? What is it, Albert at?
Albert at TropicStarPanama.com.
Albert at TropicStarPanama.com. Send him a thank you, because I'm going to be thanking him the rest of this trip. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Well, that's how we're gonna leave it. It's the end of show number 2 from Tropic Star. Everything shot in 1 week, and one of the shows shot in 1 day.
1 day, first day.
How about this guy right here with the first ever dive down live release of a 60-pound Cubera on Big Water Adventures. I'm your host, Mark Davis, with my new co-host, Albert Batu from TropicStar.com. You need to go check it out. It's one of the most amazing places on earth. Always remember, put your sunblock on liberally and often. Go see your dermatologist once a year. Go to skincancer.org if you have any other questions. I'm Mark Davis. This has been 2 Big Water Adventures, and we'll catch you down the road for another Big Water Adventure.